Colder temperatures were not the only thing people felt last night. An earthquake rattled parts of Illinois, and I'll have the full details coming up. Rashad?
Thanks, Emily. Also tonight, depending on your ride, filling up could cost a little more in one local city. We'll take a look at a proposal to update a 10-year-old fuel tax. Plus, county officials warn of changes in the postal system that could affect voting in Illinois. We'll tell you what they want you to know ahead of the next election later tonight. This is News Watch. Your Tuesday's edition starts now.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
An overnight earthquake shakes part of central Illinois, and that's our top story. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Rashad Jones. Local forecaster Emily Davis is in the Weather Center with the details. Good evening, Emily.
Good evening, Rashad. While many of us were sleeping last night, Illinois experienced a 3.8 magnitude earthquake just northwest of Ullman, Illinois, near Taylorville. This earthquake took place around 1:30 a.m. last night and was felt in portions of central Illinois. This earthquake was due to the proximity to the New Madrid seismic zone. This region has felt earthquakes before, with the largest historical earthquake in 1968 with a magnitude of 5.4. While many of us slept through that earthquake overnight last night, many of us did feel those colder temperatures today. We saw high temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s, a high temperature of 29 degrees here in Charleston. Clear skies throughout the majority of the daytime. This photo was taken around 2:40. As you can look out there, we're seeing clear sunny skies, but as we move into the evening hours, clouds are going to build. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight, along with a drop in temperature and a low temperature of 24 degrees. So those temperatures are going to drop down, but we're also going to be seeing winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour that are going to keep our temperature a little bit warmer tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be seeing a warmer temperature, a high temperature of 40 degrees, but that may be the last temperature above freezing that we're going to see for a while. That's a first look at your Skywatch forecast. Now back to the desk.
The Decatur City Council is voting on a plan to raise the motor fuel tax for some drivers. When the city established its motor fuel tax in 2016, it charged 5 cents per gallon for gasoline, but only 1 cent per gallon for diesel. A measure before the council tonight will raise the tax on diesel, so all fuels will come with a 5 cent per gallon tax. City leaders say this increase will add an additional $700,000 to the $1.8 million the city already makes off this tax every year. If this proposal is accepted, it will also extend the motor fuel tax past its original 10-year cutoff. The council is also set to propose on a proposal to redevelop the Barnes Citizens Building on North Water Street into a boutique hotel, apartment building, and restaurant. Decatur Management Services, LLC, has requested that the city consider providing financial assistance or other redevelopment incentives. County clerks from around Illinois are warning that a new postal service policy could affect voting by mail. Capital News Illinois reports mail ballots will still be counted as long as they're postmarked by Election Day. But those county clerks say a new postal service rule requires mail be postmarked when it arrives at a distribution center, not when it's first picked up. They say that means voters need to mail those ballots before the election day.
This is an unknown now. Where previously we had a pinpoint date, have it in the mail by election day so that it's postmarked by election day so that we can count your vote. Now that is an open question mark of when will it make it through a distribution center.
County clerks say it's important to mail your ballots as soon as possible. This spring's primary election is March 17th. Also at the state level, lawmakers are projecting lower Medicaid funding for Illinois. That's because part of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act lowers the cap on how much money state governments can raise through provider taxes. States have been using provider taxes to help cover their share of taxes since the 1980s. Starting in fiscal year 2028, the limit will be put in, and Illinois could see total Medicaid funding drop $4.5 billion annually by fiscal year 2031.
Police are sharing new details of a crash that sent 4 people to the hospital. Effingham police responded to reports of a crash with injuries just before 4 yesterday afternoon involving 2 juveniles and 2 adults. They say Nancy McGivney of Louisville, Illinois, was traveling south on South Banker Street when her vehicle hit a vehicle driven by Luis Ramos of Florida, who was driving eastbound. 4 people involved, including 2 juveniles in McGivney's vehicle, were injured and were taken to St. Anthony's Memorial Hospital for treatment. McGivney was cited for disobeying a traffic control device and operating an uninsured motor vehicle. The man charged with stabbing 2 people in Charleston earlier this month has pleaded not guilty. Court records show Aiden Pruitt is charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery after that incident on the morning of January 4th. Police say 2 people were stabbed, but neither sustained life-threatening injuries. Records show Pruitt appeared in court today to enter the plea, and a judge denied him pretrial release. The woman charged in a deadly hit-and-run crash in Edgar County was found unfit to stand trial. Authorities arrested Rihanna Satterfield of Marshall in April after a crash on East 1200th Road north of Paris. They say Satterfield hit and killed 34-year-old Dakota Gibson. She's charged with first-degree murder and failure to report a crash. But court records show on Friday, a judge issued a finding of unfitness. Records show Satterfield was ordered to the care of the Department of Human Services, and another hearing is set for April.
In Arcola, school district officials say work will soon begin a near 6-figure building improvement. The district's Board of Education approved a $93,000 walkway canopy project at their most recent meeting. The canopy will be built on the north side of the school by the cafeteria entrance. District Superintendent Tom Mulligan says the canopy will improve safety and comfortability by protecting students, staff, and parents from inclement weather. Concrete footings for the canopy have already been poured, with the main construction scheduled for spring break. Mulligan says the project shouldn't disrupt activities at the school and should be complete by the end of March. Local bicyclists will have new opportunities to ride in Mattoon. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources said they've awarded the city a $600,000 grant through the state's Open Space Land Acquisition and Development Program. IDNR says that money will be used to develop part of Momentum Park into a bicycle-focused recreation area. Improvements include a beginner pump track, a taught track, skills trails, connector trails, and a natural playscape and playground. This project is only the first phase of a 3-site development at the park, with later plans for a mountain biking skills course and a youth beginner-based pump track. It may be a bit chilly for a bike ride today. Emily Davis is in the Weather Center with some details on some cold temperatures.
That's right, it was cold today, but it's going to warm up tomorrow into the 40s, but then we're going to see a drop in temperatures. I'll have the full details coming up.
Cell phone video captures the dramatic rescue of a woman who drove into the water in Virginia Beach. Jeremy Way happened to hear the commotion. He also happens to be a Navy rescue swimmer. Way and others quickly worked to break into the sinking car. According to Way, the woman inside said she didn't want to be saved. The car then slipping under the water's surface. Moments later, Way pops up with the woman in his arms, getting her to safety. She's now recovering. Way calling the rescue destiny. A scary scene unfolded in Eugene, Oregon when someone spotted a man trapped in a crevice, then called for help. Firefighters found the man who somehow got wedged between a concrete wall and large stones. 20 people worked in tandem to carefully pull that person up and away from danger, just in time, too. According to a Eugene Springfield fire post, the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition with a body temperature of 76 degrees, saying if it wasn't for the attentive bystanders, the man would not have survived much longer. In a similar fashion, a pair of legs alerted authorities to a man stuck inside a recycling container in Guadalajara, Mexico. Reportedly, the guy got in to try and retrieve some belongings, then couldn't get out. Responding firefighters had to use special hydraulic tools to lift the man-filled container so they could use the jaws of life to cut him free. Despite the uncomfortable upside-down predicament, he escaped unharmed. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
It was a little bit warmer today with high temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s across the area. A high temperature of 29 degrees here in Charleston, although we did reach that freezing mark in Taylorville with a high of 32 degrees. But as you can see here in the background, we saw clear skies throughout the majority of the day. This photo was taken around 2:40, but as we move overnight tonight, we're going to start to see those clouds beginning to build, and we're seeing that process begin now. Currently, we're seeing temperatures still around the upper 20 mark, but clouds beginning to build across the area, and that's going to continue as we move overnight tonight. We're going to see those clouds continuing to build with mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Temperatures will continue to drop down though with a low temperature of 24 degrees. Winds blowing out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and those southerly winds will contribute to a little bit warmer of a temperature tomorrow, but we are going to be seeing a cold night tonight and a mostly cloudy night, and we're going to see that here on our futurecast. Those clouds building as we move throughout the nighttime, mostly cloudy skies by the morning hours as well. But those clouds will clear once again as we move throughout the daytime tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies in the morning, clearing up for the afternoon and early evening hours, but then a few clouds beginning to make their way back into our viewing area by tomorrow evening. But the highlight of tomorrow is going to be that high temperature, a high temperature of 40 degrees tomorrow, which will be warmer than what we saw today, but it's not going to last forever because this will be one of the last times we're going to see a high temperature or a temperature at all above freezing for the foreseeable future. Now, before I get to that, we're going to be seeing mostly cloudy skies in the morning tomorrow, clearing as we make it to the afternoon, but then those clouds will return as we make it to the evening. You're seeing a possible chance for flurries in the northern portion of our viewing area, but not likely as that snow moves through. But looking forward to the next 3 days, we're going to see those temperatures drop down, a high temperature of just 29 degrees on Thursday under partly cloudy skies, and then the really cold day is going to roll around Friday. We're going to see a high temperature of just 10 degrees, and Friday night that low is going to be 1 degree as we move into Saturday morning. So those temperatures will really start to drop down, and we're going to see a slight warm up as we start the weekend. A high temperature of 16 degrees on Saturday under mostly cloudy skies, but 16 certainly isn't warm. Now the reason why we're seeing these temperatures drop down is because of our upper level jet stream. You can see here we're under a very large trough of colder air that's causing most of the northern United States to be in these colder temperatures. And as we click forward, we're going to see that trough is going to stay over top of us as we move into Friday and into Saturday. And now that is going to cause our temperatures to continue to be below average for the next 6 to 10 days. That average for this time of year is typically in the upper 30s, and we're definitely not going to see that looking forward to the next 7 days. The only day we might see that is going to be on Wednesday. A high temperature of 40 degrees tomorrow, but then temperatures are going to drop down. A high temperature of just 29 degrees on Thursday, a low temperature in just the single digits Thursday night, and it's not going to warm up much from that on Friday, with a high temperature of just 10 degrees on Friday before cooling down to a low temperature overnight Friday of just 1 degree. We're going to see a slight warm up on the weekend, a high temperature of 16 degrees on Saturday before warming up to 26 degrees on Sunday, but we're going to cool down again as we make it to next work week with a high of 20 on Monday, finally reaching that freezing mark on Tuesday with a high of 32, but it's going to be a very warm day tomorrow and then a drop off from there.
Well, Emily, it sounds like I need to take one more trip to Lake Charleston tomorrow before the rest of the week is too cold. Thanks, Emily. Coming up, the U.S. is at risk of losing its elimination status as measles numbers continue to grow.
Also tonight, Greenland says it's prepared to defend its independence amidst growing tensions with the U.S. We'll be back after the break. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
No cable, no problem. If you live in the WEIU viewing area, you can watch us live 24/7 online at WEIU.net. Stream your favorite local shows like City Spotlight, The Paw Report, Being Well, and WEIU Newswatch. And you can't forget our stellar kids programming, again, online anytime. Just head to WEIU.net and click on this image. WEIU. We're here for you.
After a year of continuous outbreaks, the U.S. is at risk of losing its measles elimination status. Tuesday marks 1 year since the largest measles outbreak in the U.S. in decades started in West Texas. Since then, new measles cases have showed up in places across the U.S. every week. More than 2,200 cases were reported in 2025. Texas declared more than 760 cases and 2 deaths before declaring the outbreak over. But large outbreaks in South Carolina and the Utah-Arizona border region are still growing, with the majority of cases among people who have not fully been vaccinated. Health experts warn the U.S. could lose its measles elimination status that has been held since 2000. A formal international review will determine this status in the spring. Following President Donald Trump's push to seize Greenland, that country's leaders are speaking out. President Trump says the island is vital for its Golden Dome missile defense project and is in danger of annex by Russia or China. Opposers say Greenland would already be protected by NATO if Russia or China were to invade. A Greenlandic member of parliament says the country is ready to defend its independence.
And of course, we will fight back no matter what, if it's Denmark or US, even though we know we are much less stronger and we don't even have a military, but we will have to fight back no matter what. And we will fight for our sovereignty of Greenland. We will fight for our right to be heard as a people.
Fenker says Greenland is not interested in a compact of free association with the U.S. Trump says he will impose a 10% tariff starting next month on any and all goods from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland until an agreement is reached. In other news tonight, Rashad Jones is with us with a check of high school hoops.
Thanks, Emily. Tonight in sports, the Charleston High School boys basketball team holds an 11-game losing streak. Can the Trojans finally get a win? Also, the Eastern Illinois men's basketball team plays in a game where one team wins by over 50 points. Thanks for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch Report is coming up next.
Tired of the same old playlist? Let Hitmix 88.9 WEIU be your source for your favorite throwbacks and today's biggest hits. No skips needed. From deep dives on local topics, a lively morning show, and EIU Panther sports, we've got your back 24/7. And we're not just hitting play, we're building futures. Because behind every mic is a student making moves. It's your music, your station, Hitmix 88.9 WEIU.
The Charleston High School boys basketball team has struggled under its first-year head coach, but there's still time to turn things around. The Trojans have lost 11 games in a row and hold a 4-19 record on the season. Charleston is coming off his first run through conference play, posting an 0-5 record in Apollo. Head coach Colin McErney says despite the record, his team is making the most of it.
You know, our record isn't the greatest, but I think our guys are competing super well. They're coming to practice with energy every day. And they're still having fun, they're still enjoying it. So that's the biggest thing. Definitely been a learning curve for I think myself and the players, you know, new coach, new system, everything like that takes some time to get used to. So we're taking it day by day. I think we're improving our last several games. We've competed super hard and played super hard, which is all I ask of them.
Quick correction, I meant head coach McErney, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Charleston won its first game in 2026 yesterday over Meridian, 53-47. Keeping an eye on a historic record, Tyler Oakley is 27 points away from breaking the CHS career scoring record. The Trojans' next game is Thursday at home against Rantoul, with the following game on the 30th against Effingham. Keeping things on the court, let's recap some high school boys basketball games. Tolona Unity extends their win streak to 7 after an 89-63 win over Joliet Catholic. Paris moves to 10-11 on the season, defeating Christman 83-63. Ocala Valley ends their 4-game losing streak as they take down Villa Grove 62-44. Tuscola loses their second game in a row after starting the season off 17-0 as they fall to the top of the list 58-46. After losing a heartbreaker to Little Rock, the Eastern Illinois men's basketball team looks to bounce back against Blackburn. You know the saying, defense wins championships, and that's in full effect on this play as Andre Washington takes this steal coast to coast for the easy score to give the Panthers the early lead. Defense might be the key to winning, but offense is just important, and Zion Fruster knows that as he finds himself wide open for 3 to extend the lead. And that wouldn't be the last shot from deep by the Panthers as Preston Turner drains this 3 from way downtown, and Eastern is now up big. Blackburn fails to put a stop to the scoring, and EIU comes out on top 105-49. From the court to the field house, the Panthers track and field team hosts their only home meet this season. The Panthers hosted a John Kraft invite and capped off the meet with multiple first-place finishes. One of those performances included Sen Bradbury, who earned a gold medal in weight throwing and now holds the 6th all-time longest throw in EIU history. Eastern has only been in action once earlier this season, and senior players like Bradbury believes this lone home meet has always played a part in his success.
How can I see this progress, get a feel for it, understand it more than just try to, go out there and look good because it's a home meet. You really shouldn't treat it different because it's a home meet. Just go out there, do your best you can. Coaches coach us every day, great. So we should take what they give us and, respect it and show it.
Eastern's men's dominated in the field events, claiming the top 3 spots for the long jump. As for the women's side, EIU finished 1 through 4 in the weight throw, led by Emily Skies. The Panthers will be back in action next Saturday for the Fighting Illini Challenge. The Chicago Bears' magical season is still alive, making its way to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Now, Chi-Town has to get through the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford and the Rams look to put some points on the board first, and that's exactly what they do as Kyron Williams scored with ease. It's now Caleb Iceman Williams' turn to shine. As he steps back, rips it into the end zone, right into the arms of DJ Moore, and we're all tied up at 7. Skipping to the 4th quarter, on 4th down with the season on the line, Caleb Williams is under pressure, runs back, and slings to the end zone. Cole Kmet is there for the grab, and the Bears do the impossible, bringing this one to overtime. Now in OT, Caleb Williams slings this ball downfield, but with a bit of miscommunication by DJ Moore, the pass is picked off. The Rams drive down the field and kick the game-winning field goal, winning 20-17 and ending a magical season for the Bears. Finally tonight, a college football national champion has been crowned. The Indiana Hoosiers have won the national championship for the first time in franchise history. Head coach Kurt Signetti and future NFL quarterback Fernando Mendoza led the Hoosiers to a 27-21 victory over Miami and a 16-0 record on the season. And that's all for sports. Emily, over to you.
Thanks, Rashad. Still to come, I'll have a final check of the Skywatch forecast, including potential for bitter cold. But first, an Effingham woman earns a crowning honor. We'll show you why royalty runs in her family. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
One of the greatest keyboard players of all time is profiled in Billy Preston, That's the Way God Planned It. The film traces the triumphs and troubles of the Grammy winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. It's in theaters February 20th. A real-life Queen's Gambit plays out in Queen of Chess. The documentary looks at Judith Polgar, a Hungarian prodigy who fought the sport's patriarchy, became the first woman to defeat the legendary Garry Kasparov, and is regarded as the best female player ever. Queen of Chess debuts February 6th on Netflix. Bikini Bottom's most famous figure heads to home video. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants finds the Flying Dutchman taking the title character where no sponge has gone before. The adventure lands on digital platforms Tuesday with more than 20 minutes of bonus content. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Finally tonight, a local woman has a rural summer ahead of her as she's set to host many events across the state. On Sunday, University of Illinois student Krista Phillips of Effingham was named the 68th Miss Illinois County Fair Queen. The reigning Miss Effingham County Fair was selected from a group of 75 contestants. Phillips will have the royal honor of emphasizing the importance of agriculture and county fairs as she travels to over 30 of them across Illinois. Competitions like these are familiar for the Phillips family. Her 2 older sisters has also held the Effingham County Fair titles, and both have been second runner-up for Illinois County Fair Queen. Congratulations, Krista. Now, can we see some fair weather? We check in with Emily Davis for a final check of the Skywatch forecast.
We might see some fair weather tomorrow with a high temperature of 40 degrees as we move into tomorrow, but as we look at the next 7 days, we're going to see temperatures begin to fall off and drop down into the teens. A high temperature of just 29 degrees on Thursday, before dropping down to a high temperature of just 10 degrees on Friday. Overnight on Friday night, we're going to see a low temperature of just 1 degree before we start to warm back up on the weekend with a high temperature of 16 on Saturday and 26 degrees on Sunday, with a slight drop off next work week with a high temperature of 20 degrees on Monday before we finally reach that freezing mark again with a high temperature of 32 degrees on Tuesday.
For more news and weather, be sure to log in to our website at weiu.net. There, you'll find real-time forecasts and the news videos of the day.
And if news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net. Have a good night and join us again tomorrow here on the area's only local newscast.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit Craig Collection.